Hello, my friends. My name is Adam, and that was a very aggressive introduction. Um, I am trying to be the world's most prolific reviewer, and to do that, I have set a goal for myself of reviewing 15,000 different things, and these reviews have to be a little bit serious in which I mean I need to actually have consumed the content that I am reviewing. And lately I've been on a Betty Davis kick, but it's really hard to convince your almost 14-year-old son to watch a movie from the 1940s. So I was looking for Betty Davis films that he might be interested in, and for some reason, Tropic Thunder came up on my feed, and I was like, okay, Tropic Thunder. I don't think he's seen that. And there were like a few moments where I was like, oh, perhaps this is a bit too adult. But there were other moments where he was laughing. And I think the bit that was too adult was like the beginning of the movie where it seems like a really realistic but with problems war film. If you don't know Tropic Thunder, I don't know anybody who would not know Tropic Thunder, but if you don't know Tropic Thunder, the plot is very simple. There's a bunch of Hollywood actors, and they're trying to film the memoir of a Vietnam vet named Four Leaf, and he's one of these like really surly vet characters, and it parodies so many different kinds of movies. It parodies like Oscar bait movies, and there's a great interaction between Robert Downey Jr.'s character and Ben Stiller's character about the nature of the Academy Awards and what you can do and what you can get away with and what you can't.
Serious? You don't know. Everybody knows you never go full retard.
It parodies all of these war movies that came out after Vietnam, like Rambo, and it parodies like a lot of other things. It's like a parody and a spoof, and it stars Ben Stiller, as I mentioned, Jack Black, Robert Downey Jr., Matthew McConaughey, and Tom Cruise, and a lot of other people. And I think that's probably, honestly, one of Ben Stiller's better films. Uh, it's just one of those. I'm not sure. Like, I hate when people say this, but I really don't think that they make big budget comedies like that anymore that are full of stars and are like entertaining and, you know, they don't really do that. I don't know what happened. Maybe Marvel happened, and then they decided that they can't compete with that, or I don't know. Maybe we'll go back to those kind of movies because this movie came out, yeah, in 2008, and it was before Robert Downey Jr.'s turn as Iron Man. And probably it led to that actually because it showed that Robert Downey Jr. still could act. And I'm not sure that this is the one that he kind of resurrected his career with. I think it may have been another movie, but if you don't know Robert Downey Jr., basically he was like super popular when he was younger, and then he had some addiction problems, and then he became an unreliable person to work with. So he kind of ruined his reputation, and then he got it back eventually with the Marvel franchise and movies like this. So I've been kind of rambling a little bit about the movie. Do I like it or not? There are some things in the movie that are really, really fun and really, really shocking. I won't tell you exactly everything that happens because if you haven't seen it, I think you should see it. But I don't know. It's not really my kind of humor anymore. I know people really love this movie, but it's just like there are times when I laughed a lot, right? Because I do think that Ben Stiller is funny. Like he's definitely funny, but I don't know. I didn't laugh as much as the movie maybe wanted me to. Like, I think at the time, having Tom Cruise do the well, it's not really a cameo. He's playing like a legitimate character in the movie, but him doing that like dance, I think that would have been very funny at the time. But now it's just like, yeah, okay, Tom Cruise in a fat suit dancing, yay, and him saying the F word a lot, yay.
Heads up! Heads up!
you know, and I don't know. I think the weird thing about it is like that question that people come back to about Robert Downey's character. So Robert Downey Jr. plays this white Australian actor named Kirk Lazarus, and Kirk Lazarus is like this method actor. He's won 4 Oscars or whatever. And so he undergoes a pigmentation enhancement surgery to play this black guy. And he's basically playing like this really stereotypical black guy from 60s movies, right? And the question is it blackface? Because it's literally a white actor wearing black makeup and acting in a way that is stereotypical for black people. On the one hand, you could say, yeah, it is blackface, but on the other hand, it's not. Because it's like a satire, right? And it's all about like these extreme and ridiculous lengths that people will go when they're method acting.
Get your deep draw jukebox, Jerry Curl ass, and this chicken chip chop chop, ASAP!
Because I think it was probably good that this movie came out the way that it did when it did, because I'm sure somebody would have gotten the idea that Lazarus's idea, like I'm gonna be like this African American character, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna like, do makeup and stuff and it's gonna be fine. And so it's clearly a parody of the type of actors like Lazarus, where they are like method actors. But the problem, it's not a problem, it's just a fact that apparently Robert Downey Jr. is also a method actor. So he was doing this method, so he would say the same. So basically, you have in the movie, which is crazy. So in the movie, this character doesn't break character even when they're not filming, right? So then Robert Downey Jr. wouldn't break character of a character that wouldn't break character when they weren't filming. So it's very like meta, I guess. So I don't think it's blackface, but it's not really up to me to decide, and it's actually not really up to Robert Downey Jr. to decide. Like, I think if black people had a problem with it, they're the ones who would talk about it. And I don't know. I didn't do extensive research on these films because I just want to enjoy them and then give you my opinion, or not enjoy them and give you my opinion about it. Kind of like very raw and unfiltered. So I don't know if there was any kind of pushback. But yeah, so I would say it's not for me to decide. And thinking about the movie, I think my other problem is in terms of the plot. So I'm going to spoil the plot of the movie. So if you don't want to watch the rest of this video, you can sign off here. But I'm going to talk about the plot of the movie. So as I mentioned, they're filming this adaptation of this guy's memoirs, right? And he's like this Vietnam vet, and it's not going well because nobody's taking it seriously, or people are taking their parts too seriously, or, like it's just a mess in the beginning. So the author of the book, he goes up to the director And he says, these guys aren't taking you seriously. You need to make them really scared for their life. And maybe I missed something in the movie, but what happens, so basically they want to do this thing, which actually is probably a really great idea. They want to do kind of a Blair Witch Project in the jungle. So before it's like this huge production where there's like, you know, thousands of people, I mean, hundreds of people who are like filming and pyrotechnics and stuff. So they want to do this smaller thing where there's cameras all throughout the woods, the jungle rather, and then the director is going to give them, you know, he's going to talk to them and say, okay, go here, do this, do that. But they're going to be basically on them by themselves and on their own, and they have to, the actors are, and they have to kind of survive by themselves. So one of the very first things that happens though is the director is giving this motivational speech, and because they're in Laos or something, he steps on a landmine, which, you know, of course, that region of the world has all of these unexploded landmines. So he steps on this landmine and he blows himself up. And one of the actors thinks it's just like this trick. That's kind of a funny scene. He thinks it's kind of a trick and he has the head and he's like, oh, yeah, whatever. Like, this is just a trick. Let's go on. And all the other actors are a bit smarter than him and they realize that that guy is probably dead, but they need to kind of get out of the jungle. So
I know you're the big fancy actor here, but I've done a lot more effects-driven event films than you, okay? And I think I can spot prop head when I see one.
Oh, Jesus.
It's corn syrup, guys. Corn syrup and latex. Warm, blood-flavored corn.
they kind of humor him a little bit by playing that they're acting, right? But then he gets separated from this group and he gets kidnapped, and the people who kidnap him are this drug organization, and they have seen this movie, this really bad movie that he was in. I forgot what it was called, but basically he played this mentally delayed person, and he was very, very literal about his performance. So they really, really loved this because they only had one VHS. So he had to do it. He was made to perform this again and again. And then when he gets rescued, it's kind of like a Heart of Darkness moment where he's like, I'm going to stay here, and he's going to stay there and be with his people or whatever. So he gets rescued and they leave. And then there's like a scene of the Oscars, and then that actor wins an Oscar. So here's my problem. Like, I know that they had like cameras in the jungle. They didn't have any cameras at the drug gang thing. So like, and the movie that he wins an Oscar for is a behind the scenes documentary about making the movie that they didn't actually make. So how can you win Best Actor being in a documentary? Doesn't make any sense. And maybe that was kind of like an inside joke by Ben Stiller, because clearly he knows how the movie industry works. He's well aware of how Oscars work, I would say. So, but on the other hand, maybe it's just the fact that sometimes comedies need an ending and sometimes the endings don't make a lot of sense. And in this case, it didn't really make a lot of sense. I don't know what would have been a better ending. Like, I can't really think of one, but I didn't really like that ending. And the other thing that I have to say I really, really liked was Jack Black's performance. He's playing an actor here, and the actor he's playing is basically a riff on Eddie Murphy. So he plays these movies where he does like a lot of different parts and through makeup and stuff. But he's really addicted to drugs, and he's playing this kind of unique character that Jack Black doesn't play anymore.
Let me tell you something. A lot of people disrespecting me. They say that the movie is just about farts. It's about family. And you can't do what I do.
Which is unfortunate because Jack Black has kind of become the character that he was portraying. Not literally, because he's not literally Eddie Murphy. But he is doing the same thing movie after movie after movie. And I think maybe it started in School of Rock. Because I think that he was playing a character in School of Rock, but that was so popular that he was like, oh, I'll just do that again and again and again and again and again and again, and nobody will mind. But yeah, if you want to see what Jack Black can actually do as an actor, I would recommend this movie. He's really, really good in it. In fact, everybody is really, really good in the movie. I don't think this is a criticism, it's just an observation that there's a lot of sausages in this movie, if you know what I mean. There's lots of men in the movie and there's not a lot of women. Kind of makes sense because it is a movie about war and these are like Hollywood actors with big lots of testosterone, so kind of makes sense. But if you want to watch it for the ladies, there's no ladies. All right, I'm going to finish this review. If you like what I do, please subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of March, and I am at 708 for a while. So, yeah, I don't think I'll make it. But if you like what I do, please subscribe. And if you have some comments about the movie, let me know in the comments section. All right, thank you. Bye-bye.